Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. General Hospital Spoilers is a messy romance started by a flirty encounter with Sonny's new woman. According to General Hospital Spoilers, Sonny Corinthos' new girlfriend might have been made public. Will a sloppy romance begin with a flirtatious encounter? Though there is a fine line between love and hatred, GH viewers are aware that ADA Justine Turner has been making a lot of effort to lock Sonny up. Despite Justine's disapproval of the mob boss's misdeeds, Sonny has some redeeming traits. Even though Sonny and ADA Turner are at odds, fans have already witnessed some instances of their bonding. The week of August 4th to 8th will see another one of those occasions, which has the potential to be a significant turning point. Fans didn't like Sonny and Natalia Ramirez's romance, therefore the program destroyed their relationship and gave Natalia a death sentence. Justine appears to be taking Natalia's place as Sonny's next possible love interest. Will there be a romantic story with Sonny and Justine? Sonny and Justine will have a talk that strengthens their bond in the August 6th episode. ADA Turner may have the opportunity to continue to see Sonny's more compassionate side and peel back some of his layers. Similarly, Sonny might start to feel attracted to Justine. Things between these two could become more messy the more they get to know one another. Sonny and Justine are obviously untrustworthy of one another, but that might be part of the allure. There is some danger and mystery involved, which may end up being rather alluring. Sonny might have to consider whether Justine is trying to get him to go to jail by influencing him. Justine could wonder if Sonny is deterring her from her intention to put him in jail in the interim. It's possible that Sonny and Justine may kiss soon because the GH writers seem to be moving forward with all of this. A one-night stand or even a full-fledged, perilous forbidden relationship could result from it. It's likely that ADA Turner will end up being Sonny's flavor of the month kind of romantic interest. It's difficult to see Sonny and Justine being truly popular with fans or establishing a long-term relationship. However, the authors might experiment with Justine and Sonny together until a more suitable combination is found. Stay tuned for some exciting scenes involving Sonny and Justine, according to General Hospital Spoilers. Update for General Hospital week of August 4th, Rick's loyalty test, Chase's heartbreaking blow, and Jason's surprise Sonny. According to General Hospital Spoilers for the week of August 4th to 8th, Harrison Chase will take a devastating hit, and Jason Morgan will surprise Sonny Corinthos. Let's discuss what will happen on the ABC soap opera as Rick Lansing will also be put to the test of loyalty. Anna Devane will meet Liesl Albrecht in an odd way down by the docks. Ava Jerome will speak with Alexis Davis about releasing Rick from their blackmail agreement in the interim, but it appears she will first put him through one last test of loyalty. Rick is likely to disappoint Ava if that entails Elizabeth Baldwin and somehow saving her. It's obvious that Rick loves Liz very much and might prioritize her. When Brooklyn Quartermaine postpones their adoption plans, Chase will be crushed. Given the ongoing turmoil surrounding Giovanni Gio Palmieri, Brooklyn will not feel comfortable beginning a new family. Chase will then argue with Michael Corinthos so he can jump to Willow Tate's support and claim that Michael is being unjust by denying her children. While speaking with Jason, Sonny will receive amazing updates. Jason is expected to reveal all of the hints that are accumulating regarding Britt Westbourne's survival. Could Sonny and ADA Justine Turner develop a romantic relationship in the future? Is a love relationship between Sonny and ADA Turner imminent? Lulu Spencer will meet a new ally who could be able to assist her, according to other GH spoilers. However, given that Danny Morgan might give Rocco Falconeri some dangerous advice, Lulu and Dante Falconeri will face greater challenges as parents in the future. Given that his parents will be furious later, Rocco might get even more attached to Albrecht. Despite Dante and Lulu's accusations that Liesl brainwashed Rocco, he will not back down. Carly Spencer will suggest something to Jack Brennan. It appears that while Jocelyn Jackson Vaughn prepare to sell their phony one at the Dalmatian Resort, Brennan and Carly will spend some time enhancing their romance. Britt will disobey commands at the Five Poppies because she will grow weary of remaining in her room all the time. Should Britt disregard the demands, there may be repercussions if she is not cautious. Drew Kane will seek help from Elizabeth Baldwin while Emma Scorpio Drake confides in Trina Robinson about her developing love for Gio. Does Kate Monsey have plans to leave General Hospital? Fans are inquiring. according to General Hospital spoilers, viewers are inquiring as to whether Kate Monsey is departing the show after seeing an Instagram post. The Instagram post by Elizabeth Hendrickson is the source of the queries from fans. Hendrickson has made the decision to join YNR as a director. Several members of the soap opera community, including her co-stars, applauded Hendrickson. Kate Monsey and Elizabeth Hendricks are pals. It's clear from their social media interactions that Elizabeth and Kate are pals. Monsey wrote that she was excited to watch Hendricks' hard work and was proud of him. Then, Hendricks said she was eager to see what Monsey would do next. If something fresh is coming up for Monsey? Monsey played Abigail Devereaux on Days of Our Lives, of course. After Lexi Ainsworth was fired, Monsey assumed the position of Christina Corinthos Davis. Christina has discovered that, if she isn't careful, the things she is doing could land her in jail. Is Christina leaving after attempting to murder Ava Jerome? Elizabeth Hendricks may be making references to other projects. Hendricks may be discussing a side project that is unrelated to GH. In addition to their work on soap operas, actors frequently work on other projects. But it doesn't appear that the authors are attempting to save Christina in any way. Instead of getting herself out of this rut, Christina seems to be dragging herself into more problems. Christina continues to hold Ava accountable for the death of the child she was carrying for Molly Lansing Davis, her sister. Naturally, fans noticed that Ava grabbed Christina, and when she retreated, she tripped over a bag that had been left on the ground. Before the police could reach her room to investigate the fall, Ava swiftly took that off. Christina Corinthos Davis may take a break. Christina has been fortunate that the truth has not yet surfaced. But Ava, Elizabeth Weber, and Rick Lansing are also aware of this. Christina might be in serious trouble because Laura Collins is in possession of the missing money and Rick is blackmailing Alexis Davis. Alexis had already drafted documents to place Christina in a mental health facility rather than a jail. Monsey might have some free time if Christina leaves because of what she did. Is Monsey preparing to leave her role as Christina? Stay tuned for updates, which we will share as soon as we receive them. Here are 3 of Carly Spencer's most tragic General Hospital moments. The character Caroline Carly Spencer from General Hospital is skilled at evoking strong feelings in us. She has always been a fireball, whether you like her or not. Sometimes she is impetuous and careless, yet other times she reveals her tender and vulnerable side. Carly has gone through her share of sorrow and suffering, just like every other soap opera character. Being a legacy character, the daughter of Bobby Spencer and the niece of Luke Spencer, she has likely endured more heartache than the majority of the characters on General Hospital right now. These 3 instances include, when she finds out that her son Morgan passed away in 2016, Carly miscarried in 2000 while she was expecting her first child with Sonny Corinthos. Undoubtedly, the most joyous occasion in their life was the birth of their son, Morgan, in 2003. It was almost as tragic when Morgan was killed in a vehicle bomb blast in 2016. The fact that Carly had left him a phone call that he never had an opportunity to hear, a loving, comforting message expressing her love and belief that he would overcome his challenges at school, made it much more tragic. She couldn't stop playing the message again after Dante informed her that Morgan had passed away, and she wished that things had gone differently for her cherished son. Carly's relationship with her mother, Bobby, was, to put it mildly, tumultuous until she passed away in 2024. When Carly initially came to Port Charles, she wanted to exact revenge on Bobby for placing her for adoption. She slept with Tony Jones, Bobby's husband, to get retribution. However, Carly and Bobby eventually patched things up and were friendly, just like the majority of moms and daughters on General Hospital. Carly endured heartbreaking moments with several characters, including Elizabeth and Drew, who helped her get through her loss after Bobby passed away. In addition to admiring Bobby for conquering her own personal difficulties, Carly was thankful for Bobby's parental affection throughout her adult life. After becoming a young prostitute, Bobby decided to become a nurse instead. Carly saw Bobby as an inspiration and absorbed the lessons she taught her about the value of family and self-belief. Fortunately, Carly's tears were happy ones when she found out that her lifelong closest friend Jason Morgan was not killed in an earthquake on Cassadine Island as everyone in Port Charles believed. Carly is always kept grounded by Jason, who tells her to count to 10 anytime she is faced with an issue she can't handle and feels the need to act recklessly. She looked to Jason's identical brother Drew when he wasn't present. Was he used as a stand-in? Without Jason, Carly's world always feels unbalanced. When he revealed his existence to her in her home, we both felt a lump in our throats from her joy and great relief at seeing him alive. We were convinced of the heartwarming reunion by Laura Wright and Steve Burton's on-screen chemistry. Like Carly, we were on the verge of believing that we had seen a miracle. "I'm ready to move on," Lucas had told himself. He had given up expecting much from love after years of heartbreaks, failed starts, and one especially traumatic divorce. Before showing him what it was like to fall hard and fast and then be burnt by treachery, Brad had taught him to hope. Lucas therefore had low expectations when Marco Rios entered his life. A night in Miami, a misplaced credit card, some awkward teasing, and a night that concluded with him puking on the poor man's shoes rather than with passion. Hardly the start of a fantastic love story. But it was. Something unexpected emerged from that tumultuous first meeting. Lucas viewed it as a sign when Marco appeared in Port Charles, looking for a job at the legal practice Alexis Davis co-managed. Or perhaps one of the strangest hands of fate was at work. Whatever it was, he felt a mixture of exhilaration, trepidation, and curiosity when he saw Marco again that he hadn't experienced since his early days with Brad. Physical attraction wasn't the only factor. Even in the midst of pandemonium, Marco maintained a calm assurance and a thoughtfulness that kept him rooted. That pleased Lucas. That was what he needed. Especially in light of everything that had happened to him. They began gently. Dinners replaced coffee dates. Extended discussions into overnights. Something new started to glow with a cautious flicker, and Lucas found himself falling, not carelessly, not foolishly, but honestly. Marco didn't press or probe. He simply arrived. Steady. There. Nothing good, however, goes unopposed in Port Charles. The homecoming of Britt Westbourne caused a stir among the medical staff. Memories and suspicions were sparked by the presumed dead doctor returning to the GH halls, but more importantly for Lucas, it raised the prospect that Brad Cooper was not far behind. Britt was never without him for long. When the two were together, they were anarchy personified, co-conspirators, confidants, and, in their own perverse way, fiercely devoted to each other. Even before anything happened, Lucas sensed the change. Just having Britt around created new tension. He knew Brad too well to think that once he found out she was returning, he would keep his distance. Brad still maintained ties to the city even though he left town with a fortune and a history of scandals. Lucas was one of the strings. Lucas was concerned about more than just Brad's homecoming. It was the potential damage to the tenuous peace he had established. Marco was unaware of the extent of Brad's harm, including the number of falsehoods he had spoken and the suffering he had inflicted. The deception, the secrets, the baby switch controversy. However, a part of Lucas still harbored memories of the man he fell in love with. Yes, Brad had committed terrible crimes, but he had also loved Lucas. He had always done so in his own damaged way. The first person to say what Lucas wouldn't say out was Carly. One afternoon over coffee, she informed him, "You don't even know Marco. You've jumped in once more without even recognizing what he's concealing." Lucas, everyone has secrets. In this town, in particular. Lucas didn't want to think that. Brad was nothing like Marco. He was truthful. Open. He hadn't avoided discussing Lucas's past. However, Carly wasn't wholly incorrect either. Lucas was unaware of certain aspects of Marco. Why was he so protective of his background and where did he come from? He had never named his family, but he had mentioned them. Never details. It gnawed at Lucas the more he tried to ignore it. The task had been done by him. Time, therapy, and introspection. He didn't want to repeat past behaviors, particularly with Marco. However, a part of him worried that he was already too far in. Brad's comeback, which Lucas knew was inevitable, was executed with the flair that only Brad could manage. He didn't enter the town covertly. As dramatic as ever, he rushed in to join Britt at her welcome-back party at the Savoy. Within an hour, Lucas learned about it even though he wasn't present. He had no desire to see Brad. Not at all. But there was no escaping him. They were too intertwined in the same city, the same social circles, and the same turbulent history. It was a modest, private reunion. Brad unexpectedly came up at GH and, of all places, trapped Lucas in a supply closet. Brad responded, anxiously adjusting his lab coat as if to protect himself from criticism. "You look good." Unsure of what to say, Lucas just stared at him. Brad said, "I heard about Britt. You're back." Lucas crossed his arms and nodded, saying, "I had to come. She is still alive. You arrived. What comes next?" Brad lowered his gaze. Lucas didn't answer, saying, "If that's what you're thinking, I'm not here to cause trouble." He didn't have to. The quiet was sufficient. However, as usual, danger showed up without an invitation. A week later, Marco and Brad encountered by chance at the hospital cafeteria, which resulted in a heated argument. Ever the opportunist, Brad recognized the danger right away. Calm and collected, Marco didn't rise to the occasion. But there was no denying the change. Brad didn't speak to Lucas directly, but he started to become wary of the awkward exchanges, the persistent looks, and the overt clues Britt gave him. He began to question whether Marco also sensed it. The whispers followed. There were rumors that Marco was more than just a Miami lawyer. Something more than a broken relationship was what he had left behind. Once a silent worry, Carly's doubts grew louder. Jason went so far as to say that Marco's name was identified after a background investigation. After supper one evening, Lucas confronted Marco. "Is there anything I should be aware of?" he inquired, not indignant but simply worn out. Marco's demeanor changed, his composed veneer slightly fracturing to allow uncertainty to seep in. "Do you believe I'm concealing something?" "I'm not sure," Lucas answered. "All I know is that I've been here before. And I can't do it again." Marco took a moment to respond. "There are things about my past that I don't talk about," he finally stated. "Not that I'm telling lies. Because I feel embarrassed." "Lucas, I'm not Brad, but..." Lucas wanted to trust him when he said, "I'm not here to hurt you." He nearly did. Now, however, the terror was present. The worry of falling in love with the wrong man again. Brad, however, didn't remain silent. He began to appear more frequently, looking for excuses to be present. Lucas knew better than to believe him when he said it was about Britt. He noticed the expressions. The subliminal reminders. The times when Brad hovered around him a bit too long. One night, suddenly, Brad stated, "I never stopped loving you." Lucas remained silent. He didn't require mayhem. He wished to avoid reopening past hurts. However, this was Port Charles, and as usual, there was little tranquility. Lucas was now sandwiched between two men. Someone who stood for the past, flawed, complex, yet recognizable. The other, a riddle he was still trying to solve, who had the power to either mend him or destroy him anew. Lucas came to the realization that the fall was not the most perilous aspect of love during that period of uncertainty. It was the uncertainty of who would capture you. The stakes are higher once the daughter deceives the mother and surprises the husband. According to General Hospital spoilers and updates, a spouse is taken by surprise, a daughter defrauds her mother in the name of the WSB, and someone ups the ante. Harrison Chase was caught off guard, Christina Corinthos Davis ups the ante, and Jocelyn Jacks prepares her WSB cover. Daughter defrauds mother in the name of the WSB. Jocelyn sets up her WSB cover and defrauds Carly Spencer in the name of the WSB at the Metro Court. As a married couple in love, Jack Brennan arranged for Jocelyn and Vaughn to visit the Five Poppies Spa in Dalmatia, Croatia. Jocelyn must still provide an explanation for her absences from school and Port Charles, though. She tells Carly, who is looking suspicious, that separating them will help her understand her desires. But is Jocelyn placing distance between herself and Vaughn or between herself and her mother? Blindsided husbands in another Metro Court restaurant, Chase is sitting at a table with Brooklyn Quartermaine Chase when he gets blindsided. While they are talking about adoption, he appears agitated as he asks, "We can't adopt until you work things out with Gio Palmieri?" It is impossible to convey the begging expression on Brooklyn's face. It appears as though she will soon stop crying. Chase becomes distressed, but Brooklyn is sure that Gio would feel even more unwelcome by her if they adopted a child right away. Will she be able to explain her point of view to Chase? Keeping secrets, Gio tells Emma Scorpio Drake, "I need you to promise to keep this between us," when they are at the pool. Recently, he has met his birth father, Dante Falconeri, a few times, and the distance between them seems to have melted. Is it something else entirely, or is that what he's telling Emma? In addition to the fact that Emma took Vaughn's facility key, he does appear to be rather concerned about Emma being overly approachable and available to Professor Henry Dalton. He was worried that Emma might be going too far in her actions with Dalton. In another scene, Rick Lansing poses a query, asking, "What can I do for you?" According to upcoming spoilers, he will have supper with his daughter Molly Lansing Davis. Will someone disturb them? Due to their respective professional responsibilities, he is a defense lawyer and she is an assistant district attorney. The father and daughter haven't had any alone time in a long time. What topics would the two chat about over dinner? Family issues, business-related topics, or perhaps something else entirely? Getting doubled up? Or maybe Ava Jerome's relationship with her mother is related to Rick's dinner with his daughter, and the two are intensifying their efforts. Given that Ava says she wants to do her a great favor, Alexis Davis is dubious. Given that she has been falsifying the Cassadine estate's books in order to continue paying her and Rick's blackmail, it is understandable why Alexis is dubious. As they blackmail Alexis over Christina's attempt on Ava's life, Rick's dinner with Molly may be a brilliant ruse to ensure that his involvement with Ava won't be discovered by Molly. It can be more difficult than you might expect to preserve secrets inside the family. In another scene, Christina is increasing the stakes in Cody Bell's seduction of Ava, which she persuaded him to do for a substantial sum of money. The stakes are raised when she asks him, "How about an additional $10,000? Done." Cody responds. A major component of her attempt to separate Ava and Rick is Cody's seduction of her away from Molly's father. His chance of seducing another lady is reduced now because Molly, whether or not it is true, stated that she and Cody were only friends and denied any romantic interest. Curtis and Drew declare a phony peace, Jason discovers his next clue, and Willow's behavior remains unpredictable. In the Quartermaine solarium, Willow and Michael were still conversing. She stopped herself after requesting to see the children once more and stated that she had come to apologize rather than to make demands. Her admission that she was totally mistaken about Drew surprised him a little. Michael expressed regret that Drew wasn't truthful with her and admitted that her feelings for him were real. Willow said that she had based their connection on her belief that Drew was sincere. She claimed that she trusted him more than anybody else and that she followed his advice. Michael informed her that Drew had more ways of manipulating her than she was aware of when she expressed her incredulity at how stupid she was. He continued by telling her that he would have delighted to see her and hear about the children and that he had never told anyone not to let her come to see him in Germany. Willow took a minute to realize that Drew was the one who prevented her from meeting Michael that day. They both believed that they could have decided what was best for their children if they had been able to communicate at the time. Willow tried to take advantage of the situation by saying that they were now in the same room and asking if they might work together to decide what to do about the children. Michael claimed that since the court was now engaged, it was too late to resolve the matter amicably. Willow's composed expression started to fade when he made it apparent that he intended to comply with the court's orders. She said that he merely obeyed the court's guidelines because they allowed him to get what he wanted. He acknowledged that he didn't want the children to see her as she started pleading with him once more. She automatically told him he got what he wanted and asked how long he would punish her before listening to him. He said that rather than punishing her, he was attempting to act in his children's best interests and that she was now not suitable for them. Michael attempted to explain that Willow needed time to recover from her betrayal and that she wasn't thinking like a parent at the moment, but Willow continued to spiral. Instead of listening, she reminded him that she would always remember how he rejected her while she was pleading for a chance to see her kids. Anna's flat was crowded with people in the morning. While Gio was preparing coffee and toast and Emma searched the couch cushions for her charger, she was on the phone. Outback emerged with her lease and requested to be walked when Emma and Joe's talk interrupted Anna's phone call. Anna, who had been living alone for years, was flustered and told them they needed to set up a timetable for wandering Outback and hold a house meeting tonight. Anna was worried when Emma announced that she would be assisting Professor Dalton. Gio opened the door to go, and Dante approached. Before Gio and Emma left, they had a very short and uncomfortable talk. In an attempt to cheer Dante up, Anna pointed out that he and Gio shared a lot of similarities. They briefly discussed Gio before moving on to Rocco. He told her how Rocco contacted Liesl after learning about Britt. "Rocco was just looking at us differently, and there is this level of uncertainty that's never existed before," he said to Anna, expressing concern. Dante believed he had as much ambiguity as he could manage between Gio and Rocco. After that, they discussed Dalton. Anna revealed that Dalton was also staying at the Metro Court, and Dante learned that the woman Joss had put the tracker on was driven to the airport by a Metro Court car. Dante and Anna worked to piece together the background details, including Emma's expulsion from her previous university for sneaking into Dalton's lab. In the end, Anna expressed her concern that Emma might put herself in a predicament from which she would be unable to escape. Dante promised to help however he could. Aunt Stella paid Curtis a visit at his workplace in Aurora. Curtis told her he was not interested in finding out why Trina and Kai split up. Stella stated that while she would make an effort to preserve their privacy, she believed that ending their relationship was a grave error on both of their parts. Curtis told her, without giving the whole truth, that there was no adultery but that Trina and Kai disagreed on a crucial topic. She decided to step in and do a little repair matchmaking, as Aunt Stella always did, and they headed to the Metro Court pool. Drew just discovered that Curtis was the one who told Willow the truth about him and Nina sharing a bed at Elizabeth's place. Drew declared that getting Willow and her kids back together was his top goal right now. Elizabeth surprised him by telling him that leaving Willow alone would be the most beneficial thing he could do. The door was knocked on by Jason. Naturally, Drew was mistaken when he assumed Jason was pursuing him and attempting to prevent him from seeing Willow. "Willow is being kept from Wiley and Amelia because you ripped her family apart," Jason said in response to Drew's repeated claims that he was merely attempting to assist Willow. "And now she has to pick up the pieces of a life you destroyed." Jason asked Elizabeth for a favor after Drew left. He desired to view the General Hospital documents that detailed the morgue's handling of the dead. He assured her that it had nothing to do with Sonny's business and that no one would discover that she had assisted him, but he chose not to inform her about Britt. She had laundry to do, so she opened her computer's database and walked out. On January 4, 23, Jason discovered that Britt had been declared deceased and her body had been given to Lawrence Mortuary. When he finished, Elizabeth came back. Before he went, he inquired as to whether she had received a postcard from Jake as well. Jake seemed to be enjoying himself in Lisbon with Aiden and Lucky. Willow came back and acknowledged that when she claimed to be going for a stroll, she actually went to see Michael. Jocelyn and Vaughn were maintaining their pretense as a couple at the Metro Court pool when she remarked, "I have to make it so that no one can ever take my children away from me again." She knew Rick was right. She would have to prove to the world that she was stable, strong, and a good mother. The courier's tracker signal vanished for 3 hours at the Five Poppies Resort while Vaughn was applying sunscreen to her back and filling him on Greta. After speaking with Anna the other day, Carly entered the room with a more wary attitude toward Vaughn. She cut them off to let Joss know she had to go chat in her office. Joss and Carly went out, and Emma and Gio came in. Outback rushed right to Vaughn, whom Emma did not want to speak to, as soon as she removed her leash. Outback was brought to her by Vaughn. He expressed regret for what had happened to Jocelyn, but it was clear that she was not at all offended. Joss later greeted Gio and Emma when she came back to the pool. Gio wondered about Emma's behavior toward Vaughn and Joss after she left. She informed him that she was attempting to avoid Vaughn because she had stolen the master key to his facilities. Joss felt that she would eventually expose him after telling Vaughn about Anna's conversation with her mother. Brennan must have felt the same way, according to Vaughn, because he called to inform them that he was removing them from the investigation. Drew arrived to meet Martin at a table by the window. Drew saw Curtis and Stella enter as he was furiously telling Martin that Curtis was the one who had informed Willow the truth. Curtis noticed Drew staring at him after they had sat down. Drew admitted to Martin that he never imagined Curtis would ruin Willow in retaliation. Stella saw Drew and Curtis gazing at one another while she was speaking. She started talking about the wedding rumors she had heard, but Drew cut her off and asked to talk to Curtis. Stella went to talk to Martin while they were conversing. Drew informed Curtis he wanted to make a ceasefire and feigned ignorance of his telling Willow the truth. Curtis requested the blackmail documents Drew had on Portia, and Drew promised to think about it until they were no longer at each other's throats. Neither of them would be the one to disturb the tranquility. Drew and Curtis strolled back to his table to fetch Aunt Stella. Stella reminded Martin to turn in his 1040 and thanked him once more for all of her assistance at the hospital. Following Curtis and Stella's departure, Drew inquired about Martin's topic of conversation. Unaware that Drew was spotting his next chance to have something to hold over Curtis, Martin naively described how Stella skillfully negotiated a complex system to secure him coverage. Drew informed Martin that his strategy with Curtis was long-term. Curtis told Stella that he believed he and Drew had reached a truce back at their own table. Joss was perplexed by her mother's worry over Vaughn when she was in Carly's office. Jocelyn was asked how well she knew him, and Carly replied that she knew nothing about him. Joss was taken aback and rather defensive because Carly had never regulated her dating choices. Joss denied everything after Carly informed her that she had spoken with Anna, claiming that Anna had only spoken to her because Emma had offended her. When Carly complained that Vaughn was using Joss and Emma against one another, Joss informed her that Emma was not exclusive with Vaughn and that she openly pursued him to exact revenge. Carly questioned her about whether she was content with the situationship or whether she was seeking anything more. Joss told her that Anna was bothering her and reassured her that she didn't want anything more. They hugged after Carly reassured her that she could talk to her about anything at any moment. When Joss left, a distraught Michael arrived to inform his mother that Willow had come to try to see the children once more. He claimed to have seen the old Willow once, but that when she realized she wouldn't get what she wanted, she turned back into an illogical, desperate person. When would it ever be safe for her to be around the children again, he wondered? Following his departure from Elizabeth's, Jason went to the Lawrence mortuary. According to the mortuary employee, Liesl picked up Britt's ashes on January 12, 2023, but she saw what she believed to be a mistake on the paperwork. She informed Jason that the form requesting confirmation that the cremation was finished had not been filled out. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.